A corporate art thief whose world shatters when he steals from the wrong man, an ex-special forces soldier who begins to hunt him with deadly skill. The story begins with a man named Roger Brown who introduces himself as a short man, only 1.68 meters tall. To make up for his lack of height, he surrounds himself with money, including a fancy house worth $30 million. His wife, Diana, on the other hand, is a tall and beautiful woman. She believes Roger is a wealthy man who received a large inheritance from his parents. But the truth is very different. Diana desperately wants to have a baby with him, but if there's one thing in life that Roger doesn't want, it's to have a child with her. He drops Diana off at her art gallery, and we learn that Roger often feels insecure, threatened that his beautiful wife might leave him for a better-looking, taller man. To keep her happy, he constantly buys her expensive gifts. After leaving his wife, Roger goes to see his mistress, Lotta. But when Lotta tells him they're invited to a dinner party, he is shocked. He tells her coldly that there is no we, informs her that their affair is over, and walks out. At his office, we see Roger's real job. He is a corporate headhunter for a client company called Pathfinder. He is interviewing a man named Lander for a potential CEO position. During the interview, Roger asks Lander personal questions about his family and his house. He then points to an expensive painting on his own office wall and asks Lander if he owns anything valuable like it. When Lander reveals that he does, in fact, have a painting worth millions, Roger assures him that the CEO position is guaranteed if he just follows his instructions. After the interview, Roger's accountant warns him that he is close to going bankrupt because he spends so much money on his wife, especially on her art gallery. Roger then calls his friend Ove, who works at a surveillance company. He gives Ove all of Lander's details. Once Ove has what he needs, Roger ends the call and drives to Lander's place. Here, the truth about Roger's side job is revealed. He is an art thief. He uses his position as a headhunter to find clients who own valuable paintings, and then he steals them. As Roger breaks into the house and replaces the original painting with a fake one, Ove uses his access at the surveillance company to deactivate all the cameras and security systems around Lander's house. With the successful heist completed, Roger makes it to the grand opening of Diana's art gallery. Diana is excited to introduce him to an interesting person she just met. She then brings over a handsome and tall man named Klaus Grieve. Roger is immediately intimidated by him. Klaus tells Roger that he recently retired as the CEO of a tech company called Hote, which specializes in advanced GPS tracking technology. Hearing this, Roger sees Klaus as a perfect candidate for the CEO position at Pathfinder, even though Hote is Pathfinder's rival. He tells Klaus they should meet up to talk further. After the event, Diana tells Roger that Klaus has asked her to authenticate a lost masterpiece by the artist Rubens, which he claims to have inherited. Roger's ears instantly perk up. He asks how much the painting is worth. Once he learns that it could be worth tens or even hundreds of millions, Roger sees it as the solution to all his financial problems. He immediately calls Ove and sets up a meeting to plan their next heist. The next morning, Diana asks Roger if he's finally ready to start a real family, reminding him that he has been putting it off for 7 years. Roger gets angry and tells her that if she keeps bothering him about having kids, they won't have any in the next 7 years either. As soon as he sees the hurt on Diana's face, he immediately regrets his words. When Roger meets with Ove, Ove is reluctant to do the job. He tells Roger he wants to spend time with a Russian prostitute instead of working. Roger learns that Ove has a disgusting plan with his colleagues to secretly install a camera in his bedroom and live stream his encounter for them to watch. Roger, needing his partner, persuades Ove by telling him how many millions they will have if they can get this one painting, and so Ove agrees. Roger then meets with Klaus in a restaurant, where he tries his usual tricks to get more information out of him. Klaus invites Roger to play squash, and during the game, he tells Roger that he is divorced but at least has a dog. Roger notices old scars on Klaus's back. Klaus reveals that he got them when he was in the military special division, a unit that tracked missing people using microscopic transmitters, a nanotechnology that came from his company, Hote. That night, Roger does some research on Klaus and finds that he has tracked down some very serious criminals. Even though he knows it might be risky to steal from a man like this, he decides to go ahead with his plan. The next day, Roger breaks into Klaus's apartment, steals the priceless Rubens painting, and quickly swaps it with a counterfeit. Once the deed is done, he pauses by the window and sees a group of kids playing outside. He smiles and decides to call Diana. But to his surprise, as he dials, he hears a ringtone coming from somewhere inside the apartment. Roger follows the sound, which leads him to Klaas's bedroom, where he finds Diana's phone. He is shocked. He realizes that his wife is cheating on him with Klaas. Later, he returns home to find Diana watching TV. He asks her about her phone, but Diana lies and says she must have left it at her gallery. During a formal interview with Klaas at Pathfinder, Roger struggles to contain his anger. Klaas explains his GPS technology, a special gel containing hundreds of microscopic transmitters that can stick to anything. But Roger can't pay attention. He can't stop thinking about his wife and Klaas together. Even though the interview is going well, Roger is so upset that he tells Klaas there's no guarantee he'll get the job. While driving away, Roger is stopped by his ex-mistress, Lotta, who acts desperate and throws herself at him. He quickly pushes her away and tells her to never contact him again. Later, Roger tells Diana about his meeting with Klaas and says that he is going to make sure Klaas doesn't get a job in Norway. He sees a flash of panic on Diana's face. He asks her again if she ever found her phone, and this time, Diana says that she did find it at the gallery. Later that night, Ove goes to Roger's garage, just as he always does, to pick up the stolen painting from Roger's car. However, the next morning, when Roger goes to the garage, he finds Ove lying motionless in the driver's seat. Frightened, Roger concludes that Ove is dead. He drags the body from the front seat and puts him in the trunk. As he gets in to drive, he feels a sharp prick and realizes the car seat was booby-trapped with a poison syringe. Just then, Diana comes out to wish him a nice day and tell him she loves him. Panicked, Roger immediately leaves and drives the car to a nearby lake. He drags Ove from the trunk and throws him into the water. But just as he is mourning his dead friend, Ove suddenly comes back to life, gasping for air. Surprised, Roger jumps into the lake and drags the semi-conscious Ove back to the car. After driving to Ove's place, Roger tells him about Diana's affair with Klaas. Ove, who is in a lot of pain from the poison, pleads with Roger to call an ambulance. But Roger can't let the police get involved. He rushes to get milk to try and neutralize the poison. But when he opens the fridge, he finds Ove's gun. He then turns to see Ove holding another gun, again telling Roger to call an ambulance. Roger tries to calm him down, but when Ove opens fire on him, he is forced to use the gun and shoot Ove, this time killing him for good. After coming to terms with what he's just done, he walks out of the house and suddenly sees Klaas standing outside. Roger runs to his car and speeds off. Midway down the road, he remembers his conversation with Klaas about the tracking technology. He realizes Klaas might be tracking him via GPS, so he throws away his phone. Roger takes the painting and switches his car for Ove's. He then throws away everything he owns, his wallet, his watch, even his wedding ring, because he knows Klaas's invisible transmitter gel could be on anything. He puts on one of Ove's spare security uniforms and drives to a remote farm where Ove used to stay. He asks the grumpy farmer to rent him a cabin. The farmer takes his money and allows Roger to take shelter. Once inside, Roger hides the painting in the old, dusty ceiling and then runs to the outside toilet. Meanwhile, Klaas is still able to track Roger and arrives at the cabin. After talking with the farmer, he walks inside. Once the painting is secured, Roger is surprised to see Klaas, who has brought his dog along. With nowhere to run, Roger takes his only chance and jumps down into the disgusting pit of the outhouse toilet. When Klaas finds no trace of Roger, he eventually leaves. After making sure the coast is clear, Roger climbs out of the pit, covered in muck, and runs for his car. But when he gets there, he learns that Klaas has disabled the vehicle. Out of options, Roger decides to use the farmer's tractor. He tiptoes inside the farmer's house to find the keys and discovers that Klaas has killed the farmer. He carefully takes the tractor keys from the dead man's pocket and rushes back outside when suddenly he's attacked by Klaas's dog. A brutal fight ensues between him and the hound, which ends with the dog's death. Roger then takes off with the tractor. While driving down the road, he sees a car following him. He tries to dodge it, but ends up losing control and crashing. The other car comes to a halt, and a stranger gets out. He rushes to check on Roger and finds him unconscious, covered in foul-smelling filth. When Roger opens his eyes, he finds himself in a hospital bed. He looks around and sees Klaas's car parked outside. Panicked, Roger tries to escape. He finds the police officers distracted and starts running down the corridor, but two other officers appear, blocking his path. One of them says that he's a suspect in the farmer's death. When the cop asks Roger if his name is Ove, Roger lies and says yes. The cops take him into their custody. Just then, They spot a large truck that has been reported stolen. The cop who is driving stops their car and gets out to investigate. But Roger sees the truck speeding directly towards them. His mind flashes back to his meeting with Class and the hair transmitter gel. He also remembers Diana ruffling his hair. At that moment, Roger realizes that this is how Class has been tracking him all along, and that the truck is about to crush them all. His desperate pleas are ignored by the cops, and as expected, the truck rams their car, sending it flying off a cliff. When Roger regains consciousness, he is hanging upside down in the wrecked car, with the dead cops beside him. Class gets out of the truck and makes his way down to confirm Roger is dead. He stares intently at Roger, who pretends to be dead. Convinced, Class walks away, allowing Roger to finally breathe again. With Class gone, Roger squirms out of the car. He sees that one of the cops has an unrecognizable face from the crash. He instantly gets an idea to switch places with the dead officer. After shaving his head, he stuffs his hair into a bag of peanuts and places it in the car so that Class will track the hair to the immobile vehicle. He then cleans himself up in a lake, takes the cop's gun, and exchanges his clothes with the dead officer. With no one to turn to for help, Roger makes his way to Lotta's house. She lets a ragged Roger in. However, when he is looking for a pair of scissors, he notices a pen with the Hote Company logo, meaning that Lotta is also working with Class. He manages to stop her from texting Class his location. He forces Lotta to talk, and here we learn that Class still secretly works for Hote and was on a mission to steal Pathfinder's new GPS technology. Class wants to kill Roger because he ruined his chances of getting the CEO job. He had initially hired Lotta to get to Roger, but after Roger ended the affair, Claus approached Diana with a lie about a fake painting so she would introduce them. Lotta also admits that she was the one who put the transmitters in Roger's hair, not Diana. But just when Roger turns his back to her, Lotta attacks him with a knife. After an intense fight, Roger manages to shoot Lotta dead. He then makes his way home and tells Diana everything, the truth about his art theft, and everything that has happened since they met Class. Diana apologizes to him and says that she only slept with Class once because she was hurt after their fight about having a child. Diana tends to his wounds. Roger sincerely tells her that he never loved Lotta. Diana then calls him stupid for stealing art just to buy her things she didn't need. And so, Roger finally reveals his deepest fear, that ever since he met her, he has been terrified that she will leave him one day. That's why he stole all the valuable paintings, to keep her happy. He also admits that he was scared to give her a child that she might love more than him. After hearing his confession, Diana takes him in her embrace. The next morning, Roger says goodbye to her. Not long after he leaves, Diana texts Class that she wants to meet him. Roger, on the other hand, makes his way to the hospital. There, he sneaks inside the forensic science department and tampers with the evidence from the car crash. When the police arrive, they find the bag of peanuts with Roger's hair is missing. Meanwhile, Diana goes to Class's apartment pretending to resume their affair, while Roger goes to Ove's place to clean up that crime scene. After carefully removing all his fingerprints, he sits down on Ove's bed. But to his surprise, Class manages to track him there with the hair that Roger was still carrying. The real reason Class wants to kill Roger is so he can get the CEO job at Pathfinder, working with the executive who would replace Roger. He mocks Roger, telling him that Diana came to him willingly. As he says this, Class points a gun at Roger and asks him why he's smiling. Class is unaware that Roger has turned on the secret CCTV cameras again, and Ove's colleagues are watching everything live. As Class falls to the ground, Roger tells him that he was smiling because Class just proved Diana's love for him. It turns out that Diana went to Class's place to swap his real bullets with blank cartridges. The gun in Roger's hand is the one he picked up from the farmer's cabin, which belonged to Ove, and it is the same gun with which Roger accidentally killed Ove. The camera in Ove's house now makes it look like there was a shootout between Class and Ove. Roger gets him into another shootout while the employees of the surveillance company watch in confusion. He then places the gun in Ove's hand and sneaks out of the window. Outside, Diana waits in the car for him. When Roger gets in, Diana tearfully asks him if it's over, and Roger tells her that it's all over now. Regarding Lotta's death, it turns out that Roger had shot her with the gun he had stolen from the dead police officer, which he had smeared with Ove's fingerprints and placed by his bed. Lotta was made to look like Class's lover, who was killed by Ove because of their rivalry. The only flaw in this plan was that Ove had been dead for days, as shown by his forensic report. But luckily, the investigator on the case was known for being the best, and since he doesn't like unsolved cases, he didn't let the forensic report get out. With everything wrapped up, Roger returns to his life and prepares for the arrival of his child with Diana. The movie ends here.